Hey guys, so it's Dolores, and I'm here to give you a WIP tag. So this is not for Project Asset Desktop, which is my traditional publishing work. This is for something that many people have probably already heard because I've talked about it, and it consumed my life last year. We're doing the WIP tag for Project Blasphemy, which you probably already know because it's probably in the title and probably in the thumbnail, and or just at least one of them. So there will be another video that I'll tag up here that will be an update on how the rest of the year is going to be and kind of why I'm doing this and things. So if you do not know what the WIP tag is or what WIP means, so WIP is WIP, which means work in progress. So this is a work in progress tag. This tag was created by, I don't remember who. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. I'm sure I have because I've done the WIP tag a few times. So the WIP tag just is a tag where you answer a bunch of questions about your work in progress so that people can know kind of what your work in progress is. So I'm going to be looking down because even though I've done this before, it's not like I've done it like a ton of times. I've memorized the questions. So I'm going to be looking down, reading the questions. I did write some like notes to help me because I tend to talk too much. So here we go. Question number 1. What is the title / working title for your work in progress? So I already said that. Project Blasphemy. It does not have a real title because it is only a 0 draft right now. Starting in July, which it should be July already when this comes out. But it's going to be in the process of being edited into a first draft. So no title. Titles are really hard for me. I have a really, really, really hard time coming up with titles. Mostly because to me, a title is really important. And yes, do I judge a book by its cover like everyone else? Yes. But a lot of the times I can be like, oh, this cover looks really pretty. And look at the title and be like, this sounds boring. So the title is, to me, just as important as the cover. So I get anxious. So titles are hard for me. So right now, just Project Blasphemy, and it is that title because the content within the draft is blasphemous, which we'll get to in a little bit. So question number 2, where did the idea for the book come from? So, if you are new here or haven't been any of the streams last year or the few times that I've talked about it, Project Blasphemy was sort of inspired by Good Omens. So, Good Omens Season 2 came out last year and I watched it late. Because I figured that I was going to want to binge it and that I was going to become, just slightly obsessed like the first time. Fine. No, not fine. So I watched it and I started to get the normal obsessed that I assumed I was going to get. And I was watching some videos and reading some fan fiction because season 2 was glorious and not glorious. If you know, you know. Then I saw a video. Well, really, it was a short that I was mostly listening to, not really watching, but then I rewatched it. And the song fit the theme of the short, which was Crowley themed. Crowley is amazing. And it just fit the hurt, the like pain. I was just like, yes. And I moved on to another song, but I kept thinking about that one short, the one song, the images, Crowley, the demon, and Project Blasphemy was birthed from that and became just consumed me. So, question number 3 is, what genre does your book fall under? So, my book is like erotic romance, sci-fi, erotic romance, science fantasy, which, so it's a near future story that takes place in regard and concerns, there we go, the devil, or Lucifer, really, and the second coming of Christ. Not Jesus necessarily, but the second coming of Christ, which the second coming of Christ is a girl, a female, actually non-binary femme, but there are reasons. So that makes it even more blasphemous because, first of all, it's an erotic romance, and it has the two main characters of Lucifer and the second coming of Christ. You put 2 and 2 together. All right. Question number 4. Which actors would you choose for a movie adaptation for your book? I honestly hate this question so much. I really don't ever fan cast any of my characters in any of my books. My brain just doesn't work that way. I wouldn't, with Crowley being, David Tennant being an inspiration, I wouldn't even say he would fit. No. What I can tell you is that my Lucifer character is a white person, and my second coming of Christ is a femme Latina or Latin person. So, yeah. Tell me who you would fan cast, just with those descriptions. So, and Lucifer is non-binary. That helps too. Question number 5. What is a 1-sentence synopsis of your book? I'm going to read it. Do I have that shit memorized? No. It was actually really hard to think about. So, here we go. When Lucifer and the second coming of Christ decide that they don't want the rapture to happen and fall in love with each other. There we go. Could it sound nicer? Probably, but it's supposed to be 1 sentence. Question number 6. Will your book be self or traditionally published? So this is under my self-published name, Sarabia Medil. So self-published. Question number 7. How long did it take you to write the first draft? So I started my 0 draft / first draft, whatever the hell you want to call it. I started that draft on November 1st. It was my nano project. It was the first time I was doing a traditional nano, and I wasn't supposed to do this project, but as I have said before, it kind of took over my existence, soul, mind, heart, and my everything. You do not want to know how many times I rewatched the show. I rewatched compilations. I read all 3 versions of the book, which means I read the original audiobook. I read the audiobook with David Tennant and Michael Sheen doing voices and some of the other actors. And I read the radio play, radio play, which I will say, radio play, top tier. Love it. I love the first season of Good Omens, but something about the radio play is just so much better than the first season of Good Omens. Like, can I have radio play as the redo of first season and then second season? Please and thank you. So I started November 1st. I just went on a tangent. Started November 1st, and then I finished second week of January. So I hit, I think, like 30, 40K in November. I'm sure there's a video somewhere about where I was at, whether it's on a stream or something, when I ended November. Then I wrote through December like a mad person, like I've never written before. And then my goal was to finish before December, but obviously I didn't. And then I finished second week of January. So yeah, I think it's finally raining. 2 months and 2 weeks. Fastest book I have ever written in my life. So it was a trip. Like when I say I became obsessed, like I like I assume this is what people feel like when they go on trips or when they like, you know, go into a frenzy. Yeah. I literally did nothing else those 2 months. I streamed only sprints, and then at some point in December, I just disappeared off the face of the internet for the most part because I was writing. Yeah. Okay. Question number 8. Who or what inspired you to write this book? So, as I said, Good Omens. Crowley and Aziraphale's relationship, sort of. So kind of the idea was about two characters falling in love. Then I was like, well, I need to have a problem. And I thought about how season 1 we had the Antichrist, and now at the end of season 2 they mentioned the second coming. So I also thought of other movies and just reading the Bible because I grew up as a Catholic. If you ask me, I still identify as Catholic, but I have complicated feelings. But either way, I took a lot of theology, read a lot of the book. I know things. And it sounded more like the Antichrist and the second coming will be very close to each other or overlapping in the Bible. And who is the Antichrist's parent but Lucifer? So he's mentioned, but we don't really have any interactions with the Antichrist. So I was kind of like mixing all those together. So there is an Antichrist in my story, but he's not a main character. Not at all. But yeah. So that's kind of the like fire that came to be. Also for a caveat, I am not a planner. Did I plan this shit? Hell no. No. Halfway in like December, I had to realize that I needed a slight timetable, and that was the closest thing to planning I did. And even that was kind of a mess. I'm not looking forward to editing that part. I'm trying to make sure my timeline is correct. Question number 9. What other things in your book might pique the reader's interest? So, Lucifer. I was very specific in saying Lucifer versus the devil because Lucifer is not who you think the devil is, and the devil is not who you think he is, or it is. So, and I kind of explained that a little bit in the book, the who and what the devil is, and Lucifer. Also, Lucifer, like I said, is non-binary. Kind of trans in the sense that because Lucifer is a full ethereal being, they can kind of shift their body around however they want. So their physical sex changes a lot. Also, they do have a chosen name. So it's I'm saying sort of trans, but not really trans, because from what I understand from trans journeys and some that I've read in books, that idea is you're born in one body, but that's not your true body, and going through transition is about getting to your true body. And that's not really what Lucifer does. Lucifer just mixes around however you want. I guess kind of more like gender fluid is more like what Lucifer is. So there's that. A pre-content warning, I guess, and I will be putting content warnings in the beginning of my book for this. But there is dead naming for Lucifer. Because as I said, we do have a chosen name, which ties into like devil and Lucifer and who is what and how those titles and names function. Now, the second coming of Christ, like I said, is a Latin person. They are femme non-binary. I wanted representation in the story. I unintentionally and now have become intentionally really wanting and striving to have some form of representation, because why the fuck not? Like, white people cannot be in every single freaking story. And I'm so glad that Black people have more representation than like when I was reading as a kid. But there's more than just the two. So why not? Also, if you do research, the Latin diaspora, diaspora, I'm saying that wrong. If you know, hopefully you know what I mean. I struggle to talk or to form certain words, but the Latin people are some of the most Christian, religious, and I mean Christian as in Christianity is in general, religious groups in the world. So it kind of would make sense that if the second coming of Christ were to come, they'd probably come within the group that was like the most religious, and the Latin people are one of the most biggest religious groups, like I said. The other thing is that the story takes place in the near future. It takes place in the near future at first, and then we fast forward into a little bit of a farther, still technically near future situation. So yeah, so we got some science fiction, we got some fantasy / mythology-ish going on. You know, we got some biblical stuff. It's, it's a lot of things. I don't think it's everything in the kitchen sink. I don't think I went that crazy. But yeah, so there's that. But if you want to know more, I will be talking about the story a little bit more. I'm going to be doing a start vlog of the editing for next month, which you can check out when it comes out. I'm not going to link it anywhere because I'll be filming it when this video comes out. And I will 100% forget to link it because, yeah, I'm never good at remembering to go back to do that, especially if something's going to take a while. But yeah, so you can check that out there. I'll probably talk about like tropes and things more then. Maybe no promises, but yeah, check out me editing Project Blasphemy. I'm super excited. I love this project. I'm already thinking about book 2 in this project, which I'm trying not to think too much about, but I definitely have some ideas, and that will be even more blasphemous. If it's going in the direction that my brain is already going in. So, yes. Will I be shunned from the church? Probably, but you know what? Whatever. At this point, I want to tell my story. So, that is it for now. And thank you so much for watching and going through this and learning about my characters and the story. I hope that I didn't move the mic too much because, as you can tell, I'm very expressionate with my hands, and I'm trying to not to move the mic because this is the first full video that I'm filming with the mic. I hope the sound quality is better too. But yeah, if you want to check out my journey to editing Project Blasphemy and everything else that's going to happen for the rest of the year, hit subscribe, like the video so more people can see this. WIP tags are really fun to watch. And excuse me. And yeah, if you're interested in hanging out with me live, check out the Uncut channel, again, where I stream productivity sprints and games for, some chill times. And check out my serialized story called Hunger's Desire. It is a paranormal erotic romance that's also kind of near future science sci-fi fantasy thing. You can check that out on Ko-fi for sure when this video comes out. Yes, it's on Ko-fi. The link will be in the Sarabia Modil beacon, and when it finds its new home off of Bella, it will also be linked down there too. And check those out and wherever it's at. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. And yeah, let me know who you would fan cast my characters as, just based off of what I've told you right now. Or anything else you want to tell me. Feel free to ask questions about the story and I'll tell you if I can answer them, or if you have to wait to find out. All right. Bye. Till stories prosper.